delighted that I helped the process, and I'm proud of it. And now it's up to you guys to take it on.
Well, hello there and welcome to the third episode of Keeping Up with the Dummo. On the third edition, I am joined by the current Braintree Town manager, Ryan Maxwell, who of course was a consultant with Dunmow Town Football Club. So I guess first and foremost, what we need to do, Ryan, is congratulate you as well. Obviously, we found out that you do have a baby on the way. So I guess the first question is do you feel that's going to be a more challenging experience than being the manager of Braintree Town?
Well, potentially, yeah. Yeah, thanks for the congratulations, first of all, mate. Delighted with that bit of news. Now we're looking forward to it, pal. Due in June. So the season we don't know what's happened with the season yet, obviously, as we know, but the season should be on a break then, so I can sort of relax and then look forward to it and enjoy it, mate, rather than having to juggle a million things at once.
Obviously, you was a consultant at Dummow, and a kind of, as you left to go to Braintree, I kind of joined. So I didn't really see much of your journey personally with Dummow. So how did becoming a consultant come about for the club?
Yeah, no problem. Well, at Walthamstow, I met Simon, who was a sponsor at the time and a big fan of non-league football and us and how we were doing things at Walthamstow. He just got the bug, got to know him really well, was a real help to us. And then when that was over, we just had a real good conversation about the future and what he would like to do, and the fact that he had a real bug for it now and he'd like to continue that, and we discussed the options and what they could be working together in the future. We done a bit of work excuse me, done a bit of work professionally outside of football, so we were together on a kind of daily basis anyway, and he just said, I'd love to stay involved, with yourself and Semo and Che, going forward, wherever you next find yourselves. And we started talking about, the potential of maybe starting our own club that, or certainly me overseeing him starting a club that he felt the area of Dunmow needed. And that small conversation one day over a couple of pints basically just grew, and then once I looked into it, i.e. the town of Dunmow and what could be achieved long term, because if you know the area, it's constantly growing, Dunmow, and without a senior team there was a real sort of market for it for a senior club. So we've got some great youth teams, but no senior team operating at a high level. So that was the idea. And once he'd committed to it, and he had said, look, I would like your help here, I said, listen, no problem. I'll happily assist and get involved. And if anyone knows me, once I get involved in something, I get my teeth into it. And Simon's work ethic is the same. And we literally hammered it from the day we agreed to start it. We really did, take it by the horns, and Dunmow is what it is now, from those small acorns. So that's how it started. A lot of work has gone into it, and I'm delighted that I helped the process, and I'm proud of it. And now it's up to you guys to take it on.
So like you say, it's up to us guys to take it on. You are now, of course, the first team manager at Braintree, and obviously Nikki and Shay have gone over there with you as well. So personally, as a manager, what do you find is the difference between going from Walthamstow, which is in step 5 as manager, to Braintree, which is in step 2 of non-league? What's the kind of differences in terms of like the players and stuff like that and the style? And was it easy to transition those management skills, should I say, from step 5 to step 2?
I'm going to have to be honest and not dress it up and just tell you yes, it was easy. It's still the same game. No matter what level you play. I've played in all those levels, so I have first-hand experience. But the game doesn't change that much. It's still people playing football. The rules are the same. The difference is you've got better facility, better structure to work with. Obviously, the higher you go, but if you asked me, have I found it dramatically different? The answer is no. My style hasn't changed one bit. I'm just given a bit more help now in terms of footage for opposition and planning, logistics, etc. Those types of things are out of my hands, and someone else is doing them for me, and I find that helpful. But no, I would say, anyone who knows me, who's been involved at Braintree and has known me from Walthamstow, my style hasn't changed, and I'm sure it won't change too much in the oncoming years. No, I found the transition pretty smooth, Jake, to be honest, and a very enjoyable one, mate.
Obviously, as people know, or some people that have found this video may not know, Dunmow obviously ground share with Braintree. Obviously, unfortunately, we've only managed to have one league game there due to obviously COVID and this, that, and the other. And what else kind of follows between both clubs with Dunmow and Braintree is a couple of our players have actually stepped up into Braintree's side, including Gabriel Perioski and Matt Miskin. So kind of, how did you come about bringing these players into the team, and did you see there was a potential for those players to play well above step 7?
Well, I've obviously gotten to know those two players extremely well, and they're two very good players. And they're young as well. It's important that I mention that because their age is a factor. They've got a lot to learn, but their characteristics, their attributes are good attributes, and their attitudes have been superb. So, ability-wise, there wasn't much in it. When they trained with the first team at Braintree, they were more than capable, and were not looking out of their depth whatsoever. So, once I'd seen them train, my gut was telling me before they trained that they'd be okay anyway, because I do rate them highly. But once they'd actually played for the club in the first team, which I just threw them in against Billericay away from home, there was no doubt then in my mind that they would feature and can feature going forward. I think the gap between the levels is quite small. I would say it's smaller than it's been than I can remember. There's plenty of players who I've got on my radar from step 3 and 4 and 5 that I believe can play for Braintree. With a little bit of work here and there and a tweak here and there. Fitness is a big factor. Both those boys are super fit. That helped them. There's no doubt about that. But in terms of ability, there's not a big jump, Jake, and that's the truth. There's some very good players who just need a little bit of a bit of a polish here and there in the lower levels that can definitely step up. And I've always got my eye open looking for those players, and there's plenty of them. But yeah, those two, they'll feature. They will feature. Some hard work to be done, but they will feature for Braintree.
And obviously at the moment, well, I say at the moment, up until a couple of weeks ago anyway, step 2 and step 1 were the only steps within non-league football that were continuing. So it obviously enabled players from step 3 and step 4 to have a chance at these step 2 clubs when the budgets are tight throughout the whole of the National League North and South system to actually prove their worth on dual registrations. But however, you have your game against Maidstone, a great performance. I actually watched it here. played really well, obviously got the victory against a team with some great players in, and then the season stops. Now, by the time this goes out, we may or may not know what's happening with the season. But let's just kind of have your input as the first team manager of Braintree of what you think should happen going forward.
Yeah, first of all, the Maidstone result was obviously a massive one and a real opportunity to gain momentum. So from a personal note, we were, when we got the news it was going to be paused, we were gutted about that after such a fantastic performance. We were really looking forward to the Saturday against Bath, but of course it was curtailed for a while. So what do I think is going to happen? I'm not going to lie and say that I know. I generally don't know what's going to happen. I know today's quite a big day. The votes have gone in, I believe, today from all clubs. So, from our own, I can only comment on it from our own point of view, and that is that we would, love to continue playing. Speaking to the chairman on Saturday, and that was the opinion, providing it doesn't put the club in jeopardy. So, yes, we would continue playing, but I do think it's very unfair to ask clubs to take loans out, no matter what percent it is, because we don't know what can happen in the future. And if you're securing loans off the back of your ground, for instance, you're putting your club at risk. So why should you have to do that? So it was a real in-depth conversation with myself and the chairman on Saturday. But yeah, we want to keep playing. The players obviously want to keep playing. So it's a frustrating time. But we're not the only ones. We just have to, see what comes out of it today, I think. My gut tells me that nothing will be decided today, because I think it's been quite rushed. I think your decisions we've had to make are quite rushed. We don't know what those decisions that we make are going to look like in a month's time. I think we need to clarify some of those. But I think, as I say, from our point of view, we will train again tomorrow night until we're told anything different, and we'll do the same again on Thursday in preparation for Saturday against Dulwich, who I know are one team that have voted to curtail the season. So I don't know if that affects that fixture. But until I hear any different, we'll just prepare as normal. But yeah, it was quite gutting, as I say, particularly after a 2-0 away win against Maidstone. You just want to play again straight away, Jake,
And how have you been finding it? Because obviously prior to the season being temporarily halted against Maidstone, you've obviously had a load of new signings come in. Obviously, I had this conversation with Ross Embleton on my personal podcast for the new signings at Orient. You can't sit there and have meals. You can't have your drinks after games. So how hard has it been to get the boys to gel? Because you're only really getting the Tuesday and Thursday night training sessions for the players to gel and get to know each other.
Yeah, it's not been great for that in regards to gelling. Although I do think I'm quite lucky with the lads that we've brought in. I've brought in some really good people in regards to their character. There's some really good people in the dressing room. They get on great. Don't forget that when we did come in, we came in and basically managed the game straight away versus Concord, and there was, I think, 8 or 9 new players played. So we didn't really have time to gel anyway. It was, yeah, I've signed you, nice to meet you type thing. No joke. So I think we just sort of embraced that and gave a little bit extra. But we have a kind of an ethos at the club and a general sort of, we don't have any egos at Braintree. Everyone works extremely hard. All good people, and I think that's really helped in the gelling process. Yeah, we don't have the extra time having meals together and sitting down, etc. But during the hours that they're there at training, the gelling's gone pretty well, to be honest. And there's a real togetherness in amongst the squad, which is evident. I think if you look at the Maidstone game, you can see how together they are. So that all that credit goes to the players.
And obviously, we do hope that it is a good outcome for the National League North and South as and when that's decided. Now, I guess the last question, Maxi, is we fast forward to next season. And of course, you're going to want Braintree Town fans to follow you home and away throughout the season. But for any reason they can't get to the away games, would you encourage them to come and watch the Dummow games, which we're playing at Braintree Town when you're away?
Of course, yeah, absolutely, of course. Why not? Why not? We're Dunmow are playing at Braintree. There's going to be games that are awkward for supporters to get to the away matches. So yeah, I would love the Braintree Town fans to adopt Dunmow as their second club. It's a great club. I've had the privilege of helping out there from the beginning, the origin. The people behind it are fantastic. Real good people and good football people want the best for Dunmow. And yeah, I'd urge all the Braintree Town fans to adopt Dunmow and make them their second non-league club.
Well, thank you for your time, Maxi. And to the guys watching this, stay safe. We will be back before we know it. I know it's going to take a while, but soon you'll be watching Dummow play again. Remember, the 100 subscriber competition is still running. Seems like no one wants to win that hoodie, so get smashing that subscribe button. Smash the like button. And of course, once we hit 1,000 subscribers next season, we'll be able to stream our games live on YouTube, which means we can stream with better graphics, better content, this, that, and the other. But until next time, take care, Royal fans. Stay safe and goodbye.